Today I'm here to discuss arguably the bravest and most stand-up human being currently working in all of Hollywood. This man is a shining beacon and a perfect example of how every human being should act and think, no matter what race or gender you are. Denzel Washington has made many references throughout his career about Hollywood and their control over actors, especially African Americans. This is a subject that many people debate and discuss online. However, one of the coolest parts about it is that he has not taken a victim mentality towards the situation, instead standing up for himself and the rights of his fellow actors in the face of adversity. Denzel has experienced discrimination from many powerful forces in Hollywood, and even that has not slowed him down or stopped him from talking about the real issues. But no matter the adversity he faces, Denzel is considerably one of the heaviest hitters when it comes to Hollywood actors. A perfect example of this comes in a clip of Denzel giving an interview discussing this concept.
I got a part in a movie in 1986. I called it The They Couldn't Kill. Oh. Yeah, he was supposed to be, he raped a white woman and they tried to electrocute him, but it didn't work. And he became sort of a cult hero. No, not that one. That was the other awful one. But and then they tried to hang him, and they tried to do all this stuff. And I had a lot of training day in me. There were some Jewish people in the audition, and I said, yeah. They said, no, it's funny. It's like they hang them and then they can't. I said, yeah, like you bring some Jewish people into a room and they think it's a shower, but it's gas. Oh. And they said, right. I said, right, that ain't funny. So to me, it wasn't funny about putting a rope around my MFN neck. Either.
Notice it is a funny scene when discussing a black man being dragged along by a rope, but when turning it around to a different real-life situation and turning it on the Jewish folks in the room, then it's a lot less funny due to the fact that it is a lot more real for them. This is definitely a problem that boils down to the topic of stereotyping any group of people, no matter their race or credo. But in this situation, Denzel was willing to stand up and speak out, even though it was at his own detriment, and there was no real positive for him to do so, other than the positive changes that he made in those around him, and the fact that he can hold his head high with dignity. We will come to see that this dignity is one of the other rare aspects that he is truly a stand-up man in his personal life as well, in this age of Hollyweird, where the idea of a happy, loving marriage is treated like a joke. Denzel Washington and his wife, Pauletta, have a scandal-free and loving relationship to this day, having stayed together for over 40 years. It is also probably very telling that Denzel at one point aspired to be a pastor, but felt that it was not his calling at the time, and decided to represent his faith through his actions and attitudes every day. You may be curious as to what kind of adversity an A-list star like Denzel might go through. During 2014 Sony email leaks, a message was found between executives discussing the fact that the movie The Equalizer, by the way, one of my favorite movies ever, would have had more broad appeal if they'd cast a white actor in the lead, which I disagree with. And to which Denzel politely replied that he believes the International Motion Academy has a racist bias and that in general movies with an African American lead do not play as well overseas, which leads to unfortunate situations like Disney taking John Boyega out of promotional imagery for Star Wars in all of Asia. As he grew along in Hollywood, Denzel quickly came to realize that the subject of black suffering was often used for entertainment purposes, not education, going so far that he had to end up telling a producer, quote, "If the situation were reversed and your people were the punchline, nobody would find it funny," as we discussed earlier. Despite his unbelievable success in the industry, Denzel Washington is able to stay humble and keep a realistic perspective, directly saying to a panel of fellow A-list Oscar-winning directors that, quote, "It's just a movie. A hard job is fighting over in Iraq. Getting to make a movie is a gift. Just relax. Don't play that precious nonsense. Making a movie's a gift, luxury, and opportunity." He's even so down to earth that he rejects things like the title of movie star, the clear political agendas portrayed at big award shows, and its tendency to come across as elitist. Yet despite all of his success and the pressure to conform in Hollywood, Denzel has stayed the great same man that he always was, And just because the system has its biases and inequalities, you should not act like a victim and throw in the towel, but work hard to persevere and overcome. He wanted to make it on his own terms without selling his soul. We did a video on that whole subject, by the way. The only real backlash he seems to have faced is for speaking his mind on some touchy subjects, like in 2017, when he said that, quote, high crime rate in the black community was not primarily the fault of the prison system, and he instead put emphasis on having strong familial relationships. By the time the system comes into play, it's done. They are not locking up 7-year-olds. This quote was despite the fact that his parents were divorced, but his parents did love him and cared for him throughout his life. At the end of the day, I wouldn't even consider this a real controversy, because those who feel the need to put down such a loving family man clearly have their own personal issues and biases that contribute to their lack of understanding in a situation such as this. Denzel Washington is a great man and a wonderful example of working ahead to become the most successful that you can possibly be, all while the world seems stacked against you. He went from zero to one of the most recognizable celebrities in all of history. Certainly one of my favorite actors, and to this day, consistently putting out amazing work like Equalizer 3. Not only this, but he's the perfect example of speaking your mind about inflammatory situations in the hopes to help others, no matter the cost or benefit to yourself. Remember, no matter how many times that life knocks you down and no matter how hopeless a situation might seem, things will always work out as long as you try your hardest to be better every single day. Just like Denzel Washington. Thanks so much. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.